If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The drama surrounding Myles Garrett's offseason has caught the attention of Browns fans and analysts alike, stirring debate over what it truly means to be a leader in the NFL. Fresh off a massive $160 million contract extension, Garrett was expected to step into an even bigger leadership role for the struggling Cleveland Browns. Owner Jimmy Haslam had set the bar high, publicly stating his desire for Garrett to elevate his leadership as part of the team's turnaround strategy. But Garrett's recent choice to miss the first day of organized team activities, OTAs, and instead jet off to Japan has sparked a significant backlash. Seen attending the Crunchyroll Anime Awards with rumored girlfriend Chloe Kim, the Brown star's move has left fans questioning his commitment, especially after his own teammate. Ogbo Okoronkwo publicly voiced disapproval by liking a critical social media post. This sequence of events has ignited a firestorm of opinions about Garrett's dedication and priorities. Garrett's journey with the Browns has been complicated. Initially, after the rough 3-14 season, he expressed frustration, even requesting a trade to pursue winning opportunities elsewhere. His dissatisfaction was rooted in the lack of team success, which many fans sympathized with. However, his change of heart and subsequent signing of a lucrative 4-year extension indicated a renewed commitment to Cleveland and its future. With that contract came increased expectations not only on the field, but in the locker room. Garrett himself stated his intentions to be the best leader possible, promising dominance on game days and leadership in practice. So naturally, when he missed an important off-season event without a clear football-related reason, the disappointment among fans and teammates was palpable. It raised questions about whether his actions aligned with his words. OTAs might be voluntary, but they are a critical time for building chemistry and reinforcing a team culture. For a player of Garrett's caliber, these sessions aren't about proving anything to the coaching staff. His spot as the Browns' premier pass rusher is guaranteed. Instead, OTAs represent an opportunity to mentor younger players, set a tone for the season, and foster camaraderie. Missing such sessions, especially in a city desperate for leadership and improvement, is seen by many as a missed chance. Moreover, Garrett's choice to share glimpses of his Japan trip on social media while his teammates were grinding back home added salt to the wound. Fans felt that even if he had valid reasons for the trip, the timing and optics were poor. Adding fuel to the fire was the reaction of his teammate Ogbo Okoronkwo. By liking a post that openly criticized Garrett's absence and questioned his leadership, Okoronkwo gave voice to frustrations that many players might share privately. This subtle but public gesture underscored the divide that Garrett's decision created within the team and amplified the scrutiny from the fan base. It's unusual for a teammate to engage in this way publicly, suggesting that feelings about Garrett's off-season actions go beyond mere fan opinion and are present inside the Browns locker room as well. It highlights the complex dynamics of leadership, respect, and accountability in a professional sports environment. The social media backlash from Browns fans was swift and harsh. Comments ranged from outright disappointment to biting sarcasm. Many pointed out the irony of Garrett preaching leadership, yet skipping voluntary practices, especially after a historically poor season. Some fans compared him unfavorably to Nick Chubb, a beloved Browns player known for his consistent dedication and leadership qualities. Others took issue with Garrett flaunting his off-field adventures while the team works to improve. This contrast between expectations and actions fueled frustration and skepticism about whether Garrett truly intends to lead by example. The digital world became a battleground where Garrett's image was dissected and debated extensively. However, it's important to contextualize Garrett's absence. Star players missing OTAs is far from unusual in the NFL. These sessions primarily serve to get rookies and younger players acclimated and evaluated. Veterans like Garrett often skip OTAs without penalty, focusing their energy on training camps and regular season preparation. From a purely professional standpoint, Garrett's absence might not be a red flag, but rather a strategic decision to rest or focus on other priorities. Yet leadership in sports transcends pure football skills. It's about presence, influence, and setting a standard. Fans and teammates often expect stars to show up, especially in challenging times, to inspire confidence and unity. Without a solid quarterback and with the Browns looking to rebuild their identity, Garrett's role as a leader has never been more crucial. The defense needs him not just to rack up sacks, but to be a vocal and visible force. Even if he was unable to participate fully, just being present at OTAs to encourage teammates or observe drills could have sent a positive message. Leadership often involves sacrifices and setting examples in ways beyond personal comfort. Garrett's Japan trip, though personally meaningful, conflicted with the public narrative he had cultivated about stepping up for his team. This dissonance between words and actions left fans feeling let down at a time when hope for the franchise's future is fragile. Furthermore, Garrett's absence may have deprived young players of valuable mentorship, with promising defenders like Mason Graham and Carson Schwessinger entering the fold. Having a seasoned veteran on hand to provide guidance and share insights could accelerate their development. Leadership in the NFL often means taking younger players under your wing and helping them navigate the complexities of professional football. By missing OTAs, Garrett missed a chance to reinforce his leadership off the field and build trust within the team. This gap might explain why Okoronkwo, who presumably understands the importance of veteran presence, felt compelled to subtly express his frustration online. The optics of Garrett's off-season choices have undoubtedly complicated his image in Cleveland. Fans hunger for a leader who embodies commitment and sacrifice, especially after a disappointing season. Garrett's high-profile contract and vocal promises set expectations that now seem harder to meet. While it's easy to criticize from the outside, the truth of leadership involves balancing personal life and professional responsibilities, a balance Garrett must navigate carefully. This controversy is not just about missing OTAs. It's about the symbolic meaning of that absence in a city desperate for hope and consistency. How Garrett responds to this scrutiny in the coming weeks and season could define his legacy in Cleveland. In the end, Myles Garrett's off-season saga is a reminder of the intense pressure star athletes face. Beyond their immense talent, they are expected to be role models and pillars of their organizations. For Garrett, the Japan trip was likely a personal choice, but his timing and public visibility have stirred doubts about his commitment. See either way. Browns fans hungry for a turnaround want to see leadership not just in words, but in actions. Whether Garrett can reconcile this gap and lead the Browns back to respectability remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. In Cleveland, leadership isn't just about contracts or stats. It's about showing up when it matters most. Enjoying the content so far. Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be witnessing the beginning of one of the most shocking locker room dramas in recent NFL history. Rumors are swirling, and insiders are hinting at a growing movement within the Cleveland Browns' organization. One that could potentially push quarterback Deshaun Watson out of the franchise altogether. That's right, some of the Browns' biggest stars are allegedly banding together, quietly but firmly, to make their dissatisfaction known. And when key players start making noise behind the scenes, you know it's only a matter of time before the front office starts paying attention. Could we be on the verge of a monumental shift in Cleveland? Let's dive deeper into this developing situation. From what we're hearing, frustrations with Deshaun Watson have been simmering for months, if not longer. His inconsistent performances since returning from suspension have not lived up to the lofty expectations set when the Browns made that blockbuster trade and handed him that massive, fully guaranteed contract. Some teammates reportedly feel that Watson hasn't been the leader they envisioned, that he hasn't taken command of the locker room or earned the respect of those who've been grinding for years to elevate the Browns into legitimate contenders. Now, as the offseason heats up, it seems those frustrations are boiling over, with whispers of key veterans pushing back against the quarterback's presence. It's important to stress that this isn't about personal animosity, at least not entirely. Sources suggest that the concerns are largely professional. Certain players, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, have grown tired of carrying the team while the offense sputters. They see the Browns' window to compete as right now, with a talented roster stacked with Pro Bowl caliber talent. and yet they feel that Watson's erratic play is holding them back from taking that next step toward real Super Bowl contention. This sentiment, if true, could be a major catalyst for internal strife, especially as training camp approaches and tensions naturally escalate. What makes this rumor even more intriguing is the supposed involvement of several high-profile stars, players, whose opinions carry serious weight in that locker room. Imagine veterans who've given their blood, sweat, and tears to this organization, quietly voicing their concerns to the front office, or even uniting behind closed doors to present a unified message that it might be time to move on from DESHAUN Watson. The scenario is rife with drama and consequence. If the front office listens, it could set off a chain reaction unlike anything the Browns have seen in decades. But if they ignore the players' unrest, that could lead to a fractured locker room, which rarely ends well in professional sports. Of course, the Browns front office faces a colossal dilemma here. On one hand, they invested an unprecedented amount of draft capital and financial resources into acquiring Watson, betting the future of the franchise on his ability to return to elite form. On the other hand, a divided locker room can sink a season before it even begins. Can they really afford to alienate their core players just to protect their investment? Or would it be wiser to cut their losses now, even if it means absorbing a painful financial hit and dealing with the public relations fallout? These are the kinds of high-stakes decisions that define a franchise's trajectory for years to come. Adding fuel to the fire are the reports that Watson's relationship with some offensive teammates isn't as solid as the team might want the public to believe. Chemistry issues, disagreements over play calling, and concerns about his commitment to preparation have all been cited in recent anonymous leaks. If those rumors are true, it paints a picture of a quarterback increasingly isolated within his own team, a dangerous position for any leader to be in. And if Watson doesn't have the full support of his offensive unit, it's hard to imagine the Browns executing at the level required to compete in the brutal AFC North. Let's not forget the role that fan sentiment plays in all of this. While some Browns fans continue to back Watson, believing he can regain his Pro Bowl form with more time and stability, others have grown increasingly disillusioned. The off-field controversies that surrounded his arrival in Cleveland left a deep scar among portions of the fan base, and his underwhelming performances on the field haven't helped matters. If the players are now turning against him as well, the Browns could be facing a full-scale mutiny. Not just in the locker room, but in the stands too. That kind of toxic environment can be lethal for a franchise's long-term stability. Of course, it's worth considering that this could all be smoke without fire. A classic case of off-season rumor mongering designed to stir up headlines and clicks. The NFL rumor mill never sleeps, and stories of locker room discontent are as old as the game itself. However, multiple sources have hinted at real friction within the Browns organization, suggesting that this isn't just idle gossip. Whether or not it culminates in Watson's departure remains to be seen, but the fact that such discussions are even happening speaks volumes about the current state of the team. If this movement among the Browns stars is as real and unified as some insiders claim, it could force the organization's hand far sooner than anyone expected. Even with all the guaranteed money tied up in Watson's contract, there are ways to maneuver around the cap, restructure deals, or even explore potential trades, though Watson's no-trade clause and hefty salary would complicate any such scenario immensely. Still, in the NFL, where winning is everything, front offices have been known to make shocking decisions when player unity and competitive windows are at stake. Could Cleveland be the next franchise to make a stunning pivot at quarterback? For now, all we can do is watch and wait as the situation continues to unfold. Will Deshaun Watson rise to the occasion, mend fences within the locker room, and lead the Browns to the success they envisioned when they mortgaged their future for him? Or will the internal pressures prove too great, forcing the organization to make an unthinkable move and part ways with their embattled quarterback? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. This is one of the most fascinating storylines to keep an eye on as we head into the new NFL season. Stay tuned because this saga is far from over. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!